means that there should be no line without the tick sign. What it means that there should be not even a single line in the paper which you should just writing for the sake of writing. You should always think from the examiner viewpoint whether the examiner will put a right tick sign on it, because if he find it is a good point, he will always tick it as this, right, tick sign. And if after completing the answer, he will just see how many tick sign he has given, and his marks will depend on that, because he know these are the only point you have written your answer, so you will be awarded accordingly. So if your mindset has that objective in mind, that okay, whatever I am writing, whether it will garner one tick from the examiner, then it will always keep you on track that you are writing important and relevant stuff only. Right. Another thing which you can always do is always remember what I have done. Okay, you cannot think of all linkages at one go, never it can happen. But what I have mugged up, I have mugged up each uh, chapter of the public administration from paper 1 and paper 2. So whenever I am writing my answer, I'm just doing a brainstorming exercise. Okay, what from chapter 1, what from chapter 2 in it, what from chapter 3, 4, 5, whatever chapter name you are remembering, that if any linkage from center state relation, any linkage from financial administration, any linkage from introduction chapter, any linkage from the organization behavior chapter, when you give your mind a directive, then mind can search better. Always, if you give it, okay, what about from Taylor and this, also you will always, your mind will always search in that area. If you just randomly think, okay, any linkage in public administration, it is not going to come. If you think it chapter wise or topic wise or thinker wise, it can always help you to improve score. Third thing you can do is, what generally happens, that we devote more time to one question which we do not know and less time to the other question. This is another big mistake we do in paper while writing actual means. So always your objective should be that all questions should be treated equally. You should not differentiate much. If you know better, write it quickly, and in the starting you should write those you know best. But in there is a problem with the people. If you know something best, you always try to write it as the best, so that you can write 3-4 pages on it, because you want to show the examiner that I know everything about this Taylor scientific management theory. I am telling you that is a big mistake. Never do that. If you know a topic good, it you should write it in the lesser time and lesser words. That is only identification that you know the paper, you know the topic good. Because that means you are understanding the demand of the question and you are directly writing to the point thing. So never do that. If you write something more, write it less. This should be your objective. Then another thing is making diagrams. It can anyways help you things to write more thing in the lesser words. So flow charts and diagrams you can also make. Another thing if you want to do is committee names, committee, commission, second ARC, you should have it on your tips, that okay, anything comes, you should be able to link second ARC, whether Sarkaria Commission, Punchi Commission, Hota Committee, Ugandhar Committee, Baswan Committee, you should have on tips these things, so that you can link them with them. And how you should it should be very exact. For example, if you are writing about disaster management, you should remember that in second ARC report 8, what is the number, what even this level of thing if you have, that give you a specific touch, that you have read thing in details rather than just having a basic point. Another thing is that current affair linkage. Now people think that okay, how can I link current affair? Currently market have lots of those kind of stuff coming. For example, vision ka jo mains 365, the PT 365 material, it is really good if you want to form your interlinkages for the public administration subject. There are other polity related website which gives things on or question on polity or economy. So those points you can bring, always bring in those. For example, a graph is there, a small graph. If you can use those small graphs in your answer, then it will again enhance your marks. So I think these should be main objective, that writing less, more point, more example, keep your mind broad, points short, and number of points large. That is, I think, should be your objective.
So we will take a few audio questions now. So please unmute Manisha Birendra. Manisha, you can ask your question. Yes, Manisha, you can.
Sir, I'm asking how can prepare current affairs daily? Make it notes daily or prepare monthly like vision notes or any other?
Sir, please.
Yeah, I think current affairs, as I mentioned earlier, you must read 2 newspapers. There is no way out. I can dare say that your preparation for this entire UPSC examination, general studies as well as public administration, starts and ends with current affairs preparation. It is as simple as that one. So every day you must devote at least 2.5 hours only for reading newspapers and writing down the important points. And if you start reading newspapers after 1 month, it takes less than 1 hour also, because the same news would be repeated. And it becomes easier also for you to understand what is going on in the country as well as in the rest of the world. But the most important source for you is newspapers, because they are the primary source of information. And rest of other material, whatever the other material, if you want, you can read it. But I would suggest that you restrict yourself to newspapers. And then, of course, government documents. Vijay, you can give.
That's from a teacher perspective. From an aspirant perspective, I know if you are a fresher, it takes a lot of time. And if you are even a specialist also, reading newspaper takes a lot of time, especially when your mains is approaching. So to prepare for that, apart from reading newspaper, you must read it. It is actually good. No current affair booklet can ever replace the actual newspaper reading, because it gives you perspective. In the book, current affair booklets, you will get only facts. But in the newspaper, you get views, which are more important for your UPSC preparation. But once you are done with the newspaper, you have to recall things also. So in that point, the importance of booklets also come in. So you must take 1 or 2 good booklets from the market. You should bring out points or facts from it and then put it in your own handwriting. Because no book, if you have some booklet and you have read it, but if you noting down in your own script, because it is only your own manuscript which you are going to remember in the actual exam. If you have written lots of those printed booklets, it is not going to benefit you much. So whatever topic you think it is interlinked with your public administration point, you should bring it in your memory book or your notes book, so that you will be able to relate it in future. It is not about that time. That time you are understanding linkage very good. But what if you do not write it in actual exam? It is of no use. So as I am saying that if you are reading anything, always think in the perspective that can I revise it in the last 2-3 days? Can I recall it in the last 2-3 days? If yes, then only read it. Otherwise, it is no use of you as an aspirant. For your general understanding, you can always help that. But if you are targeting your preparation for improving your marks, then this should be your strategy. That anything you're reading in current affair from any source, do not procrastinate. आलसी मत बनिए कि हाँ हमें इसको बाद में लिख लूंगा. उसको हाथों हाथ अपने बुकलेट निकालिए. It will take some time. Okay, 10 minutes it is taking for you to bring your booklet and then note it down. But I am telling you, it is worthy. Even if you are reading 2 hours daily, okay, you are leaving 5 things, but you are just noting down 3 things. Then also after 1 year, you will be much better prepared than a person who is just reading it, because you are not revising things. You are not revising linkages. So this is, I think, you should do.
Okay, sir. So we will have next audio question from Shri, and then after that we will ask Birendra. Please unmute Shri. Okay.
One
Shri,
question I am taking as of my own. One question someone has asked that what is the difference between a GS paper 2 answer and a public administration answer? That how should two look different? That this question is a general question which every aspirant faces during his preparation of public administration paper 2. That how my answer should be different in GS and different in public. What I have understood, there are very minute differences. If you work on that, then any answer can look like paper 2 answer. For example, that first is subject specific terminology. There may be country, normally we call something as a country. In history, we call it as a nation. But in the public administration, we will call it as a state. So you should write it in like that manner, that your terminology should be subject specific. When you are writing in a polity answer, okay, it is okay, you can write it. In history, you can write it is a nation, that India is a welfare nation. But when you are writing a public administration, your answer should be starting as a welfare state, that a welfare state has an objective of providing security to its citizens. So in that way, your introductions become, or your answer become closer to the subject. Second thing what you can do is that your paper one linkage, theoretical linkage, like Taylor, what Taylor said, what Bernard says, what Simon says. If you are able to link it with any kind of theory, contingency theories, situational leadership theories, any kind of public administration paper one stuff, then again it becomes public administration specific answer. Third thing you can do is mentioning the committee commission name. When you are writing GS answer, you are not supposed to write name of second ARC or as such. But if you are writing public administration answer, you must give it authenticity by using example. For example, as I said earlier, that second ARC in its report, this report on disaster management, and if you remember the name of the exact report, then it is very good. Then you should practice those. Okay. Then another thing you can write is previous year question wording. This I have learned that many of your answers in every next year get solved if you even remember your previous year questions, because most of the lines of previous year questions can be used as intros, as conclusions, even in between as a headings also, because they give you very specific terminology and wordings which you can later explain in even paragraphs and paragraph. Earlier they have asked 10 marker question, so definitely it is a composite sentence which have lot of knowledge combined in it. So if you remember your previous year questions on that topics or that area or any area, so you will be better linked. So I think these are the things only which makes differentiate between a general paper to answer and a public administration paper to answer. Yes,
Thank
we
you
can
so much,
take
sir.
any next.
That was really knowledgeable. Shriye, please unmute yourself and ask question.
Hello, sir.
Yep, you're audible.
Hello,
You can ask.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, you can ask, please. Yeah.
Okay, sir. I would like to ask one simple concern to one sir, because this is my second attempt, sir. I went through paper one and paper two, almost understanding everything with the Chennai itself. I mean, went through the computing. But I would like to go through the offline test series post prelims, this 2020. I would like to go through the Pawan sir test series offline. So how can be done?
Yeah, offline test series, normally we will start immediately after the prelims. So this year the prelims will be on 4th October. So around 10th October we will start the test series. But there is a caveat here. The conditions should be completely normal.
Yes,
Then
sir,
only we can have offline. That is
That
very
is used this time.
Yes,
yes.
sir, I can understand.
So otherwise,
Thank you,
we'll start definitely by 10th of October.
Yes, sir, because I'm lacking the proper evaluation. So
No,
that's it,
problem.
I would like
Definitely.
to,
No, definitely we'll take care of it.
thank you, Vijay sir. Thank you, Bon sir.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Please unmute Gaurav next. Please, Gaurav, ask your question to sir.
Sir, my question is that while we practicing the answer writing on our own self, then how can we evaluate ourselves that this answer is correct or not, or how much marks does this answer will get, and how much the level of my preparation is? How can we evaluate ourselves while preparing?
If you are writing on your own, it becomes a little bit difficult for you to evaluate yourself, your own answer, because you don't have that kind of knowledge, especially from the perspective of an examiner. That is the reason why you require a little bit of guidance when it comes to answer writing. It becomes difficult for you on your part. You cannot. At best, what I can say is that you can go through the discussions which I had done for previous year's answers. They're available on Neo Stencil also. You can watch the videos and you can see yourself whether your answer is matching the answer which I had given as part of the discussions. especially of previous year's papers. Then you can evaluate yourself.
From
Vijay,
an
you want to-
aspirant viewpoint, I
Yeah.
will again tell that
Yeah.
that is a good point. That you should have a mentor who can guide you. It may be your senior, it may be your brother. If you're not able to join an institute, it is okay. If you are able to join, then it is again okay. And Pawan sir, I don't think that it will take. If you are writing answer, you can come to Delhi or due to any issue. You can directly send it on the group. Sir, evaluate it. And
Yeah.
secondly, you can have join groups of serious people who can give you points. If you are still do not have that kind of access, write previous year question and then search best copies of the topper. Read best copies of the topper. For example, search the test series paper. I think it is available in the Prem Photo State Delhi. So you can order it from there, or you once while you can go there and bring out last 2-3 years best copies of the toppers. Now you will learn a lot from the best copy of the toppers. There may be few questions which you may not like it, because no one write perfect, but that will give you an exact understanding of the things. Even when I scored 300, if I see my answer sheet, I can tell you there may be few questions which I have written quite dirty or not up to the mark, but that do not matter as such. If you're writing lots of good answer, then few average answer, then 1-2 bad answer, it is okay. And so that's why UPSC gives you choice also. Out of 8, you have to do only 5. So in that way, you should be prepared. You may not know everything. And if you have to evaluate your answer, just compare it with those toppers' answer. You will get a lot of comparative understanding. Alone, you cannot do that. I'm sorry, because everyone, if you know it better, then you would have already written it. So whatever you know best, you have already written in the answer, in your view. For evaluation, there must be another person. It may be your senior who has given multiple mains. If it may be your teacher, or it may be if you do not have any of two, then just go for the best copies of the topper which is available in the market and compare. Write those questions first which they have written, so that you have the understanding of relative knowledge. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
that should
sir.
be-
So we will
Sir?
unmute Saranya next for the question. Saranya,
Sir,
please ask your.
one question now. Sir, as a college student, how much time does individual will devote on daily basis so that can get low rank in UPSC in 2022, starting from right now?
Do your all essential activities, whatever remaining, devote it to the public, your preparation for CSE, and never ask this question again from anyone else. I'm telling you, because if you are preparing for civil services, this is the last question you should bother about. Even you can read for 1 second more, 1 minute more, devote it. This is the time. And it is experience telling you, people are reading it lot of time. They are giving their best. They have standard things. Okay, 7 hours sleep, they are fixing it. 1-2 hour extra, okay, they are fixing whatever time they are devoting. There are people who are getting only 5 hours because of their tough job schedules, but then they are, whatever they are giving, they are constant in it. Do not vary it a lot, that one day you are reading 2 hours, next day you are reading 10 hours, then again you are not reading, and then again next day you are reading 3 hours. That is not your point. You take out your time, whatever optimum time for you. If you are in job, if you are in a college, if it is 5 hours are available to you, utilize it. Above that, go. That is my view. Next.
Yeah, sir. Yeah. So unmute Saranya next. Sir, Vijay sir, your voice was slightly lagging for a
Yeah.
minute.
Sorry.
Saranya, please ask your question.
Hello, sir. Good evening. My question is that how to link paper 1 topics in paper 2 answers, sir?
Okay, it is very simple. For example, you are writing about Mary Parker Foley and integration. You can give the examples from Indian administration, the examples of a coalition government. Coalition governments can be successful when there is an integration in terms of policies, programs, and objectives among the political parties. Otherwise, it only results in compromise, which can ultimately lead to inefficiency. You give the example of the previous Progressive Alliance government, UPA government. It was not based on integration, the coalition. That was the reason why ultimately it was not up to the expectations of the people. You give the example of scientific management theory. Take the example of scientific management theory. Then give the example of public sector enterprises in India, wherein the memorandum of understanding that public sector enterprises have signed with the government of India, wherein the government had given them functional and financial independence, that led to improvement in their performance. Similarly, utilities of compared to public administration. We can give lots of examples from Indian administration while analyzing the RICS CPA, where when you talk about the systems approach, the political subsystem, economic subsystem, all those are directly, you can have live examples from Indian administration. Same is the case with public policy or financial administration. You can always give lots of examples, and that is what you must be doing to get good marks in public administration. Even Vijay, I think, has done a lot of these things. Right, Vijay?
I will suggest here that you should definitely read Ponsar's explanation of test series. They are beautiful linkages. You will find it there. Secondly, you can read best copies of the topper. They must have done good interlinkage. Thirdly, on your own level, what you should do, you should just do, as I said earlier, that you should remember chapters and topics from your syllabus. For example, if you are reading paper 1, if you are reading Mary Parker Foley, start asking a question that from each chapter, what linkage bring to Mary Parker Foley? Do that brainstorming. Okay, from this financial administration, can you link anything? Just keep seeing the syllabus and think what Foley says. Can you link it? Can you think of something? Think of, and then you are done with it. Then do the reverse thing. When you are in reading paper 2, just read what I can link from paper 1 here in this chapter. For example, production chapter, what I can bring from organizational behavior, if I can link something. That way, if you are doing these kind of cross brainstorming, that will always help you to link back.
Thank you, sir. So I will take few questions for Q&A chat box. So there is one question, sir, from Gayatri Devi. She's asking, is it important to read Yojana or Kurukshetra for PubAd? Yojana or Kurukshetra necessary है क्या पढ़ने के लिए?
Yeah, Vijay, you can answer this one.
Sure, you should read it. Okay, because you have time and you have to make understanding of, so they are from the basics, they definitely, but slowly you will feel that I need much more targeted things. So rather than thinking, okay, entire Yojana and Kurukshetra is useful, you can always think of what particular write-up is important for you. You bring that out and you just read that. Not entire booklet must be read from page to page. If you are topics and if you are able to recall, okay, it is directly related to this syllabus point. So I will say that your syllabus must be your guiding point. If you have a syllabus in your hand, previous year question in hand, and you think, okay, this is topic, question has come from this topic, and this write-up is specifically targeted to this, then you can bring out that. What you should do is just finish it and bring out 5 or 10 key points, not more than it. Then write it somewhere else and then leave it. You should not take that booklet along with that. When paper will approach, I will revise it again, and you are doing marking it. Okay, this is highlighted point. You are never going to get time to revise it in the last time. There are a lot of other things you can revise, but not Yojana and Kurukshetra in that last 10-15 days. And whatever is not revised in the last 10-15 days is not useful for you. So if you are reading it, just make short note of it. Write those points in your specific topic in your notes. That is enough. I think that kind of interlinkage will help you. But some best examples are always got in these government news, these magazines. But you should not devote lot of extra time on that. That is my view.
Yes, so we will ask next question from take question from Venus Sharma. Please unmute yourself and ask question. Sophia, please be ready with your question.
sure. But basically, I have a simple questions. Basically, if I am writing some quotation and whatever in ethics or essay paper, then can I means write in Sanskrit format means for a particular quote? If a particular quote is available in Sanskrit format only, then can I write those three words of 2-3 words of that Sanskrit?
Yeah, I think you can write it, and it is better if you write the English translation also, because for
You
people like me who
should
cannot
use-
understand Sanskrit, it becomes difficult. Otherwise, you
Script
can
should be written in always Roman. If you're writing in English, that script should not be Devanagari per se. Okay. If you're writing a Sanskrit quote, you should write it and that, okay, this any quote you are using, that Paradhin sapne hu suknai. So it should be Pradhin, like
Yes.
that. And then you should write in bracket what it actually mean in English translation. So that is a appropriate. And do not write long quotes. I'm telling you. For example, if you're writing 5 line, 10 line just to give because you remember that quote, do not do that error. If it is directly relevant, keep it brief and write it. That person will understand. You can do it.
At the end
Okay.
of
Second
the day,
question.
yeah, just a minute. At the end of the day, in ethics paper, they will give you marks for your own analysis of what is there in the question rather than quoting some other thinker. That is what you must remember. Yeah.
All right, sir. So second question. What should be the particular source for IR in GS2 paper? Any particular specific source?
In GS paper 2 IR, they're asking around 4 questions, 2 in say section A and 2 in section B. And if you look at the questions, 2 questions, 1 or 2 questions are from international institutions. It can be United Nations, it can be World Trade Organization, it can be IMF, it can be World Bank. So those questions you can easily prepare. And the remaining questions are from India and its neighborhood, mostly India, China, Indo-Israel, Indo-Japan. So I believe that you don't have to unnecessarily prepare too much for IR. If you're reading newspapers regularly, I think you can do very well. And what Vijay has done, we can ask him.
It's nothing. And if you prepare continuously, IR is something which you get lots of. In your newspaper, every day there is IR. If wherever you go, you will face one question from IR. So rather than doing it, I will say that you should read specific study. Not every write-up is important for you, because every thinker in IR has expertise on it. So he may write 5-10 pages on it, but you just need 5-6 lines at max. The UPSC is not going to ask one specific country per se, if it is asking broad questions. So you should prepare yourself in that way that you have a holistic understanding of your relationship with any other country rather than a particular deal or particular point. UPSC never going to ask, okay, S-400 deal किया तो इसका बताइए. ये नहीं है. India Russia relationship in the context of USA and rising China. So you are having it in the 3 countries together. This is how UPSC is asking. So always prepare in that broad context rather than being narrow.
All right, sir. Sir, last question. If I want to place some flowchart or diagram in the answer of GS and mains papers, and then where should I place the diagrams? Means right in the starting of that answer or somewhere in middle, or should I put that diagram or any type of flowchart which I want to put in the last ending of the answer? Any particular place?
There's no particular place. Just do not do it in intro and conclusion. In between, you can do it anywhere depending on way. You cannot make intro in point format, that flowchart format, and you cannot give conclusion. Okay, decipher it. I have made it. This is what I mean in conclusion. That is not going to happen. 2-line conclusion, 2-line anywhere in between you can fit it. Just keep it simple and brief and self-explanatory, so that you know not to use again words to explain it. That is what I think you should do.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. So we will take last 2 questions now. We'll give chance to Sophia. Sophia, please unmute yourself and ask question.
Hello, sir. Thank you for your time. So I want to ask this question that when we are attempting the paper, so I start with 15 markers first. So what I see in my exam is that usually I do not get much time for my 10 markers. So I think overall that reduces my average even if I'm writing 15 markers well. So can you say something specifically to Vijay sir or Pawan sir about time management? And the second question, very small, sir, sometimes there's a question like budgeting is a political process. So in this way, we can also write basically how budgeting is a political process, but at the same time, we can also say why it is a political process. So as an aspirant, should I accommodate both of these 2 points, or I should explain more with how, with schemes, etc.? So that's my question, sir. Thank you.
Hello? Yeah, Vijay, you can answer first, then I'll see.
Sir, first you should start. I think you can give.
Okay, fine, no problem. I'll. The first is that the question is that whether you're answering 15 marks or 20 markers or 10 markers. That is the question. What you must do is that whether it is a 15 marker, 20 marker, or 10 marker, you try to answer those questions for which you know the answers very well, so that you can write those answers very fast also. And then come to those questions where you are a little bit doubtful in terms of writing the answers. It can take some time also. If you can, out of the 19% that you have to answer in public administration, and out of the 20% that you have to answer in GS, there are at least 60% of the questions for which you know the answers, and write them very fast. You don't have to think also, just you have to write, so that you can save some time for those questions where you have to think a little bit also. Where it is 10 marker or 15 marker, 20 marker, does not make much of a difference. But only thing is that in terms of UPSC evaluation, if it is a 10 marker, they don't mind giving you a 6 or 7 also, 5.5, 6 or 6.5. If it is a 20 marker or 25 marker, giving to 60% might be, is somewhat little difficult, because this I can tell you from an examiner perspective. When we are giving marks, we think that we are giving money from our own pocket. That is the attitude of the examiners. So it is better that if you can answer for. On the other hand, these short answer questions, we don't mind giving a 6 or 6.5 also, 7 marks also for a 10 marker. That is what you have to remember. Coming to the next question, budget is a political process, and these kind of questions. We always explain these kind of questions with examples, so that why and how also both of them are covered in that. Say budget is a political process. You take that one, give the examples how this budget as an instrument is used by the political parties to win elections and retain power for longer periods of time. So that you are answering both how and why parts simultaneously. That is where you require lots of examples. You require very good in-depth knowledge of current affairs. This is what I can say. Vijay, you can give your opinion.
From my viewpoint, your first question, that 15 marker, I'm saying you that you should not differentiate that. That 15 marker, you should have simple qualification. Okay, 30 minutes, 50 marks, for example, or 31 minutes, 2 minutes, you can take it. But I take it as a challenge. Okay, 30 minutes, 50 marks. That is done for me. If I am writing 10 markers, I will do it, complete it in 30 minutes. That should be your strategy, because if you are writing an actual paper, if you prepare in this context, 30 minutes, I am writing 50 markers. It is very difficult, I am telling you, to writing 15 markers or 10 markers in 30 minutes. But you should practice it. At least in the first hour, you should write it as fast as possible, because that time you know the answer correctly. As I said, if you know it deeper, you must be able to write it in the lesser time and lesser space. That is your excellence. Otherwise, everyone knows something about things. So if you are writing in the initial hour, your writing should be in that context only. So do it. And regarding that, budgeting is a critical process. If that answer is there, you should just, what you should do is make it more holistic. As sir said, examples always help you in that. If you use your examples, you can always give why also and what also. But if you are directly writing, okay, budgeting का definition लिखेंगे, theoretical perspectives लिखेंगे किसी के, तो उसमें time लगेगा. So don't do it. Better it is explained in the perspective of examples. You just mention the key point and then give the example. Examiner will self-understand.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we will end with last two questions, sir. Which I want to ask. This is particularly for Vijay sir from Shubham. Sir, Vijay sir, what's your success story, and what's helped you in PubAd, and what kind of mistakes you faced when you were IPS aspirant? That was the question, sir, we want to ask. And then I want to end that question. Yes, sir. Yes. Please.
I think there is my video available on Delhi Knowledge Track on public administration optional, as well as my success story. You can see it from that. And a simple thing is, do not leave hope. What I have learned, that okay, keep trying. One day God will be with you. You just keep doing. That is, your faith is important in this exam. And one question someone has asked, how to keep yourself motivated. I'm telling you, you have no other choice. If you want to be one civil servant, you must be motivated. Otherwise, there are a lot of people who are, even after joining, they be. I'm sorry to say, but it is a reality. Because if you are not motivated, then civil service is not for you. It is difficult. It is very painful for you. You have no other choice. The only thing which generally when we become senior comes into our mind is the financial dependence on the parents and their hopes. That they have high hopes and we are betraying those. But as I always keep saying that don't bother about it. They have reproduced you, so they have all kind of legal, social, moral responsibility to bear you until and unless you get successful. So take that attitude in your mind that okay, you are not taking it from anyone else, you're taking it from family. And one day you will become successful, then you can pay back. And 4 5 years are nothing in a life. So if you are giving it from long time, just be patient and give your entire focus and energy to this preparation rather than thinking of other extra factors. I think that is only you can keep you motivated.
Thank you, sir. Sir Pawan, sir, any last word for students in this time, how they can prepare?
See, as Vijay pointed out clearly, they should not lose their motivation. Come what may, you must always have success in your mind. And second thing is hard work. There is absolutely no substitute for hard work. I have seen Vijay from very close quarters. For many years, he has worked really hard in terms of answer writing, trying to improve the answers quality. That is the only way in which you can be successful. Third thing is that never not losing the focus. Never lose the focus. Whatever you may be doing, never lose the focus as far as your preparation is concerned. There can be many distractions, but at the end of the day, you know that what you have to achieve in your life. Once you have these things, nobody can stop you from realizing success. That much I can say. It might be late, but it can never be. There is nothing like never. Right?
Thank you, sir.
Last thing from my point is that one day I was sitting on another side. And I hope that one day I will come on this side. I tried for it. Everything you are facing now, I was also facing. That do not think that you know nothing or I have learned so much. It is all experience you will also garner. And I wish you do not get that level of experience also. You get success early in the first attempt, you do it and then go move on for the other things in the life. That's what I can say. That when I started preparation, I was also a knave there. I was not knowing anything about public administration, answer writing, or anything else. Slowly, I learned things. So you will also learn. Have that faith. Keep writing. All the best to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vijay sir and Pawan sir. This was really a power-packed webinar for us. I hope our student will enjoy this surely. And we are very thankful from Neo Stencil for giving time to us and joining this webinar. We wish you all the best, sir. Thank you very much.
In fact, I would like to thank Vijay also because he has come here and has motivated the students. That's really so nice on the part of Vijay. It's a very nice gesture. Thank you, Vijay.
So in the lockdown, everyone is free.
Yeah.
So there is nothing. Student will get help. I think that is more important.
Yeah, that's what. Because the students can definitely get motivated by looking at you and the way you have prepared and you have done the things. Definitely, I'm sure they must have got a lot of motivation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, students. If you have any queries, you can join Pawan sir's Telegram group or you can ask us questions. We are always ready to answer. Sir is also launching a new batches for public administration, also GS Foundation and ethics courses. So you can check on our website. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Right.